Alright, here we are on a beautiful, slightly breezy late afternoon, Winchester Bay, Oregon. Spudman's been on a pretty long trip. This is a really nice 1944 Deluxe Coupe, really done in a Resto-Rod style format, nicely done. We'll walk around and tell you about it like we usually do. Fairly busy place, so I may get interrupted or I may get a diesel go by like just happened. Anyway, we know the history really good on this car. This car was believed to have been sold new in the San Bernardino area, Southern California area, basically. And then it proceeded to sit in storage for 17, 18 years in the 80s and 90s, and then it received a full body off restoration. When they did the body and paint on this car, and we'll cover some of the history at Spud's Garage and cover that a little bit better. I'm operating from memory right now. Basically, this car was stripped full body off restoration. We have pictures of the restoration back then. Was done, it started, you know, in the late 90s and completed right around 2000. The car has 8,900 miles on it right now. But they stripped this car down to bare metal. It was a beautiful Southern California style body. And they used no Bondo on the car at all when they did the restoration, according to the history that we have. Basically, they did lead where it was needed, and it was performed spectacular. It's a whistle straight body. The doors shut right. Underneath the hood is a 350 Chevy crate engine, ZZ4 350, 355 horse engine. Has a 700R4 automatic overdrive transmission. Has a Ford 9-inch rear differential. Has chassis engineering parallel leaf springs in the back. Just a really nicely done little car. We'll cover more as we go throughout the video when we get to the undercarriage video, and we'll share some more with you. But this particular owner purchased it 3 years out of Southern California from the owner that had owned it 17 years, and we knew that client. It was from a prominent Southern California collection. Came up here to Oregon. This gentleman wanted some IFS front suspension. It was done more traditional front suspension, like a dropped axle. Now it has a fully independent front suspension in it, which is really nice. Heights Mustang 2. Pretty expensive front suspension. Cost about 15 grand to do an upgrade like that. So since he's purchased it, he wanted power steering and, you know, a more road-worthy front suspension on it. This car's always been a great driving car, but it just drives that much better with the IFS front suspension. He's got the front end down nice and low, and it looks cool. It's got a little bit of a rake to it. You could raise the front end a little bit if you liked. Previous owner belonged to the Joker's Car Club. Again, this is a full deluxe trim car. The paint on it is, again, so you'll find a little bit of maybe a mark here and there from its use in time since it was done, but it's been petted, protected by all owners since its restoration. Two owners that we know of. You'll find a little bit of tiny flaw. There's a little tiny flaw right there in the paint, but you know, or a little bit of a mark in the front from a bug or something like that. But overall, it's a spectacular car that'll still capture trophies. Just a little bit of light tempering on the front fender here, on the front of the rear fender. The interior was done by Gabe Lopez Interiors in Southern California. Very, very nice high-end leather. This car took 8 hides of leather to do the interior, and you'll see why when we talk about it here. I really like this part. I've never seen anybody do that, but they actually covered the garnish moldings in leather all the way to the garnish moldings in the front window here. The dash is tastefully upgraded where they've eliminated the ashtrays and installed AC vents. Has a polished tilt steering column in it. Has a Glide Engineering fully adjustable seat in it here. We'll even up the seats here just a little bit, kind of give you a feel. German square weave carpet, and I'm hoping you're hearing me because of the wind. I'm trying as best I can to speak up. I speak loud anyway. Vertically pleated door panels and seat panels, but this is really a high-end leather interior in this car, and it's quite obvious. Video gauge is installed in the dash here, and I'll get into that here in just a minute when I come around to the driver's side. But the seat, behind the seat here is a full audio system, and you'll see speakers in the deck here. It's a hidden audio system. Kind of get a feel back there. Very, very nicely done. Again, we'll have a lot of details at Spud's Garage. I got to lean into this seat to put it back. Seat belts for driver and passenger. Doors shut nice. All steel, by the way, no plastic here. All steel fenders, front and rear fenders, body. And again, no Bondo was used on this car. They just did everything with lead that needed to be done. Old school technique. Take a peek there. We'll kind of give you a look down the side here. Again, a very straight car. Trying to keep this close to my face. 40 Ford. All factory style trim on it, which is really nice. Little bit of this had a big California plate on it at one time, so there's a little bit of mark where the license plate was before. But again, just me being over picky. It's an excellent car. Body off restoration, very, very nice. Chrome exhaust. Cars driving by, so I take a little break there. You can see the stance. It's got a nice little rake to it. You could easily, fully adjustable front end now. You could raise the front end if you liked. Gotta love the back window on a 40 Ford. Deluxe powder coated wheels, deluxe wheel trim, Ford deluxe wheel trim. It has brand new BF Goodrich TA radials on the rear. I believe those are 235s, or they should be 235/70 R15s. Up front here, BF Goodrich radials, 155/60 R15s in the front. Again, brand new tires on it, brand new independent front suspension. Very few miles since then. Get you in here on the driver's side, we'll fire it up. This thing's got a great sound and feel. We'll actually take you for a drive. Fire it up here a little bit in just a minute. Wind's blowing out here. I'm hoping you're hearing me all the way through this because I put a lot of time and effort into producing these ads for you. A little bit of a, I just noticed it here, there's a little bit of a chip that could easily be touched up there on the fender. Not a big deal, and again, that's just me being over picky. It's a very nice car. We'll get in here and show you the dash. Again, we talked about the AC vents where the ashtrays were. Has a tilt column in it here, polished tilt column, billet banjo steering wheel. 9,827 miles since it was built, which tells you can drive it. You can drive it even more with the IFS front suspension in it. We're going to fire it up here. Starts right up. Very, very healthy GM performance crate engine in here. Never overheats, no overheat issues. 3/4 tank. Bring the R's up. It's 12 going up 13 volts with the R's up a little bit. Fuel pressure is almost around 50 pounds. Water temperature, we've been running for a while, it's not warmed up. And 9,827 miles at the time of inspection. But the leather, the high-end Gabe Lopez leather in here goes all the way through. You can catch the consistency on the leather. The headliner, I believe, is even leather in this one, if you can believe that or not. In fact, I'm sure it is. German square weave carpet, pedal position's nice. Again, IFS power steering rack and pinion. See if we can capture the sound here for you. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. Go to spudsgarage.com. Alright, we'll take you underneath the hood here. A little bit breezy today, like we talked about during the walk around. We know this car well, and we'll speak up so you can hear us. Hopefully the muffler on this microphone helps a little bit. Anyway, ZC4 350 V8, very nicely done. It's one of the 355 horsepower crate engines. It has polished aluminum cylinder heads on it, polished aluminum GM bow tie intake manifold. Has a Edelbrock AFB Weber style carburetor, Carter, so to speak. GM HEI ignition. Pretty much these crate engines came oil pan intake, so to speak, with the distributor in. It has a I'm trying to think, it has a Griffin aluminum radiator in it with an electric cooling fan. I'm trying to think of the engine belt drive on it. Street Performance Serpentine belt drive. Sorry, I had to look at my cheat sheet there for a minute. Street Performance jet hot coated headers on it with chrome exhaust. Very nice. We talked about it being recently upgraded with the IFS front suspension. There's the power steering pump. So they did a modern rack and pinion power steering on it. They put chrome fender braces here to the radiator. You'll see the updated IFS control arms height in the front. All the wires have all been hidden on the car, that type of thing, so you notice you don't see any wires underneath the hood here. Polished billet wire separators. I know it's a little windy. There's the VIN right there. It's an 18 VIN car. Those Griffin radiators. By the way, this car runs about 170 even in the hottest of weather, so it's set perfectly. It came out of SoCal up to Oregon here, but there are no overheat issues with this car. It's the kind of car you can drive. Polished AC, air conditioning on it. Again, the Jet Hot Coat short tube Street and Performance headers on it here. Diesel going by, that's what you're hearing. Chrome exhaust. The updated front suspension there has a 700 R4 automatic overdrive transmission. Ford rear differential. Anyway, there you go. Hang on to the end of the video. I apologize if it's a little bit windy out here, but nothing I can do about that. All right, we thought we'd let you hear it run. We don't have somebody driving it and moving it around for us, so we thought we'd fire it up and take it for just a little bit of spin. That new IFS in the front is nice on this car. Hear it? Sounds great. Beautiful day down here in Winchester Bay, Oregon. A little breezy. I could mess with my video just a little bit. I gotta wait for somebody to go around. We'll take it through a run in the parking lot here and then bring it back and do the walk around video on it. I'm driving it with one hand because it's got power steering. Trying to avoid puddles with it. Appreciate you coming to Spud's Garage. This could be going to your garage. All right, let's take a look at the trunk here. It's got a Gabe Lopez. The Gabe Lopez interior follows all the way to the trunk in it. Very nice German square weave carpet. Fuel fills back here on the rear. Has a nice little compartment here. This is very nice leather. Nice little cool compartments here. Goes all the way to the side, so good place to hide your whiskey. Kind of give you a feel of the trunk there. All right, we still have the breeze up a little bit. We're going to cover this undercarriage as best we can and hope that you can hear us. Very, very nice underside. Body off restoration that we talked about. Parallel leaf springs in the rear. Full chrome exhaust system on it, you'll see that. Magnaflow mufflers. Or chrome tailpipes here, put it that way. Parallel leaf springs in the back, chassis engineering style, Ford 9-inch rear differential. Has a Rock Valley stainless fuel tank in the back here. See the undercarriage here, kind of gives you a good feel. Very, very nice car. Only 9,000 miles since it was done. These are brand new tires on it when they updated the front suspension. Pardon that, I almost dropped my camera. Peace. Anyway, long road trip. I'm a little bit rummy. Got 16 hours to go home. Again, very, very nice, nicely done. The chassis, the whole chassis was reworked when they'd had it out and did the body off restoration. Is fully powder coated, stripped to bare metal, just like the rest of the car. Chassis powder coated. The whole front end has been fully updated within the last, I believe, year or so, with the IFS front suspension, heights independent with power rack and pinion power steering. So they reworked that. It has power disc brakes in the front. Got it nice and low on the front. The chin's low, so these cars typically will get a little mark on the chin. It's got, you could raise it about a ½ inch or an inch and gain a little bit of nose clearance on the front. The chin on the front here, you can see where it's got a little bit of bump. They all get bumps on the chin. You can buy aluminum covers for them if you want, replace them. Again, tubular front suspension, heights, fully independent, rack and pinion power steering. Try and get you from every angle so you can see here. 40s like this are pretty hard to come by. We appreciate you coming to listen to me. 700 R4 automatic overdrive. Again, all steel. Make sure you go to spudsgarage.com. Plenty of photos for more. It's going to go back to his garage right now, but it could be going to your garage. Make sure you go to Spud's Garage. Have a great day.